Hey, you're a big Tesla guy, right?
Yeah.
How is life with a Tesla?
It's great. There's a lot of perks with the whole like gas thing, which is, I don't have to pay for gas, and I pay like just a small amount for like an increase of my electric bill.
Yeah.
Maintenance, I don't have to take it in for maintenance all the time.
Living in West Virginia, where is the closest dealership? Is it Columbus?
I would say Columbus and Cincinnati are like pretty close.
The nearest.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So Chad Simon, the executive director of the Nashville office, he and his wife both have Teslas, but the Tesla dealership is like right outside his office where he lives at. So it's it's very convenient. But I wondered, folks around here, because he said like I never have to take it in; they come and do the thing if it's got a problem. And I wondered, like folks that live 2.5 hours from the dealership, does the Tesla vehicle just show up and help you out, or?
Yeah, for some things.
Yeah.
And usually it's like, okay, you need a filter changed. They can change it for you on the fly, or if you need like something diagnostic done, they'll do that remotely.
They can just log in.
Yeah, or remote, like they will show up.
Oh, okay. Wow.
With like a Ford van, but it says Tesla on the side.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Pretty good service.
Yeah, that's not bad service.
Yeah.
We're putting a couple of electric parking spaces into the lot there at the construction.
For me?
Sure,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, for anybody, but especially you.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's because we're environmentally conscious.
I've always said that.
Go
Green or go home is what I say.
You ever hear tell of anybody going green?
Yeah?
That's us.
Really? That's Village Caregiving?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. So, could you put a gas pump out there for me?
No.
Well, I'm glad you
I don't
thought
think we
about it.
can. There's probably some regulation around that.
Well, I could put farm use on it.
I could put a gas can out there.
That would be handy. Well, it's whatever you want to do. Well, hey, we're
already rolling.
Yeah, we have to start this podcast. We can't talk about Teslas and gas pumps all day, but boy, would I.
We can.
Yeah. Do you want? No, we shouldn't.
Okay.
Let's welcome our guest into the studio.
Yes.
Chris, welcome in.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Chris Cendaña, ladies and gentlemen.
There they all are. Hey, so you're you are new to the company, and so a lot of folks have heard about you but haven't seen you or met you yet. So take a moment and introduce yourself, first, last name, what your official title is at the organization, then a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Chris Cendaña, and I work at corporate, and I am the director of information technology. So anything that touches the computer or anything that touches the network really is my responsibility.
That's what you do.
That's what I do.
Cool. And so you have joined Village Caregiving, but your background is in information technology. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
How many years have you spent in that industry?
I think this year makes about 19.
19 years.
19 years. Yeah.
So
His background is in information technology. Think if he had been like, not really.
yeah, like no, I
I'm just taking a shot at it with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, I interview well, and so
Right.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this whole time I thought it was in a maintenance position, and then they gave me this computer, and I just happened to know how to plug it in.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to tease. But
Yeah.
you got a freaking mountain of experience.
Oh.
19 years, my friend has
I know.
in the industry.
At high level stuff.
Yeah. So not to age you, but what is your age?
So I will be.
Well, I can ask that. It's an interview.
To be fair, you would never age me. I would age myself.
Okay.
And my kids would age me.
I got you.
But I will be 42.
Okay, 42. So I was making sure that we were all about in that same age. I'm way younger than both of you guys. But anyways,
He's on fire today. I love when we get one of these days from Aaron. You know it's going to be a good day. He's on one.
So you read or you watch different documentaries. You read about Elon Musk and the sealed technologies back when kids used to be able to take cars apart and computers apart, TVs apart and change the things. And then they started making the sealed technology. So you come along. Do you remember your first computer?
I do. It was Acer Aspire.
Okay.
No, hold on. I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
My first computer was a Tandy, and it was from like 1989.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I had an IBM PS2
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
in the probably late 80s.
Yeah.
1990, somewhere right in there.
Okay. So you both come from extreme wealth. That's fine. Mine. You remember the Gateway computers that come in the cow printed boxes?
Oh, Gateway was way
yeah.
better. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
nice. You're the one living high on the hog.
Yeah, I had a Gateway when I was a kid. So, but it was used. Well, cool. So, were you as a kid always interested in these things? How did you end up in the world of technology?
So, yeah, I mean, as a kid, I had a lot of interest in electronics. Audio was my big thing.
Okay.
Audio and video. But at the time, it was just really, VHS and,
When you say audio in the 90s, are you talking like speakers in the trunk of the car audio, the JVC detachable CD player in the car? What are you, when you talk audio at that age, what are you looking at? You just mixing the soundboard at church? Where are you getting your exposure at?
So I loved car systems. I thought that, the bass just bumping was like just fascinating to me. But what I was really into was DJing.
Okay.
And so my brother was a DJ.
Oh, wow.
And so he taught me at the age of 13 how to mix. And so from that moment on, it was kind of like, wow, there's so much I need to learn. I want to do this at home. He lived in California. And so I grew up in West Virginia, Beckley.
Yeah.
And so
How was the amateur DJ scene in Beckley compared to California? I would imagine very similar.
it's probably, if you can imagine somebody with just a tape deck,
Yeah.
and then a lot of talking on the mic.
Sure.
Here's a song that's going to be coming up soon, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll play the song. It'll fade out, and then they'll talk about the next song. So, that's kind of like your DJ style from Southern West Virginia. There were some really good DJs, though,
Okay.
growing up, but I would say that's average right there.
What's the hardest part of being a DJ? You said your brother taught you how to mix stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. It's a fascinating world. You go, you're working party, wedding, whatever the thing is. What's the biggest challenge for a DJ?
I think the biggest challenge is reading the room.
Knowing what songs to play?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
definitely. Because everybody is tuned into their own preferences, and they like to DJ, or like a lot of DJs like to be in a certain genre. When you're DJing for the masses, they're not going to have the same preferences as that person who's DJing. And so you might have a lot of people that like country or people that like pop. You might have some hip hop heads out there, some EDM. But it's really just kind of like tipping your
So you're not going in here with a preset list. You're just making calls on the fly, reading
kind
the
of
room.
Yeah, it's pretty much
I
an
didn't know
audible
that.
the whole time.
I thought you just kind of showed up and like, here's your playlist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it
It's
depends.
a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah.
It definitely is a challenge. I found out that if you go in with a set list, you're going to get disappointed because you're not going to follow that set list.
Huh.
Yeah. You have to really read the room, see what people are liking, understand the tempo of things. Like, okay, people aren't liking fast songs right now. They just want to do a slow song.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and just throw that in. That's a good trick if like nobody's dancing. Throw in a slow.
breeze them out.
Yeah. People are like, okay, I'm more comfortable in the slow song.
Sure.
Feel, and then hit them with something that's popular.
Okay.
Sarah and I get on the dance floor every time.
Yeah.
We love dancing.
I can see that.
We're those guys that help you out. You
Yeah.
know? We get out there and start the energy level coming up.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, Aaron's seen this. We've
Oh,
been
yeah,
to a lot
you
of
do.
weddings together.
Yeah. A lot of Gaga requested. Before we go further, okay? So not to be super specific, but 20 years of DJing experience under your belt, mostly in West Virginia. Would that be right?
I'd say, yeah, majority in West
Okay, so
Virginia.
majority in West Virginia. Would you say that the majority are wedding events, birthday events, or something else?
The majority are wedding events.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't say anything else. Now, mostly West Virginia, mostly wedding, over 20 years. Jeff, what is your guess for the most requested DJ song?
For like a dance number, a dance song number, like I'm not talking slow dance. I'm going to go like upbeat It's probably, well, most requested. I can tell you the one that always gets played. I don't know if it's requested. The one where you have to like do whatever the song says, like one hop this time.
Yeah. The cha-cha
Now
slide,
clap your
right?
hands.
Is that cha-cha slide? Is that the...
Yes.
Okay, no.
I would say he's absolutely right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can't stump me, son.
At weddings,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, can you play the cha-cha slide? And I'm just stumped every single time. Like, we still listen to that? But
Yeah.
hey, it's effective.
Uh-huh.
You know, people have liked that since the 90s.
Yeah.
I
Check
think it's the
this
90s. 90s? Yeah.
Check this out. Now Charlie Brown.
Wow.
Sounded just like it, didn't it?
Just like it. I thought.
100%.
We'll probably get censored because of this. We played their clip, but it wasn't. It was you.
I got it right.
Yeah, exactly right.
Hey, do you ever do any DJing where you scratch?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't think I knew about that, did you?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Scratching, well, for what I do, it's what they call cueing. And so cueing is basically, you ever played like, or you ever done like double dutch or like, you know.
Was it jump rope?
Yeah, jump rope.
Yeah.
And like you have to like get into,
Uh-huh.
you have to jump into the whole rhythm of things. It's kind of the same thing in DJing because you have, if you're blending, you have a song that's playing and you have to match that. And so when you are cueing, you're kind
throw
of
in a
like,
little bit of that.
you're just like cueing on beat, then you release. So
Uh-huh. Match up the BPM, little
Yeah.
it goes right in.
Okay.
I'm into this, man. I could talk about it for a while.
Dude, I'm not. We could dedicate the entire thing to just doing DJ work at events, but I don't think we should.
that'd be fine. Actually, we could just do a class at VCG.
Yeah.
We could do that every week and be like, how to DJ, and then we'll have 5,000 plus DJs.
Surprised you with that jump rope knowledge too, didn't I?
Well, when you had
I can
said,
see it on your face. You didn't think I know about jump rope, son?
He didn't
I'm
ask.
double dutch
Yeah.
all the time. Call for the doctor. Call for the nurse. Call for the lady with the alligator purse. And then you get out.
yeah, the fact was he didn't ask, "Are you familiar with double dutch?" He said, "Do you know double dutch?" And you're like, "Oh, absolutely!" Like there was no question asked that you were in that rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. So, well, I'm always fascinated by the world of DJing in general. There is us on the inside of the DJ world, like you and I, are aware that the profession of DJing is at risk because of anyone with an iPhone can just plug a cord in to some speakers and now they've got a set playlist from Spotify, right? And you can just pick. You don't have to rely on the DJ, which is the same to me and you. I'm certain I'll speak for both of us as professional DJs. That's like going to Walmart and getting hair clippers and being like, "Well, I'm a barber." Right? That's not the same. Yeah, you can cut hair off top of the head, but you're not a professional like you and I are. How mad does that make you when you hear that people are just playing Spotify playlists? Nothing against Spotify; they're a great corporate sponsor. But continue.
Yeah. So, it does it doesn't concern me at all because it's just the way culture is. It's all on demand. You got your iPads, your iPhones, whatever, and you can do anything you want on those devices. It's the same thing in DJing. You don't have to wait for that song to be played on the radio. You can just tap on Spotify, and that's what everybody's accustomed to now.
Yeah.
What that's doing to our DJ culture is that now we get a lot of requests in the middle of songs.
Oh wow.
And people are impatient. And
They're
so
like,
it's
cut
kind of
that
like,
off.
Yeah. It's like, hey, could you play this right now? Like, it'll just be like, oh, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Did you just want a jukebox for this? Did you just want Spotify to DJ this?
Yeah.
Can't even make it through one full song.
Exactly.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that segues right into something I want to talk about today.
Okay.
Comes back to information technology too.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to put a bow on this whole thing.
Tie it up.
And it starts with a book review. The book for today is called Deep Work by Cal Newport.
Oh, have you read this yet?
I have not.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Have you read this?
No.
Okay. So here's what it's about. Cal Newport discusses how to do your very best work. And this has become a popular idea. You need to really get into that zone, not distracted, where you have, say, 25, 30 straight minutes. Your phone's not notifying, lighting up. People aren't interrupting you. And you can get into this rhythm where your work is like way, way, way more productive. You can actually do more in that 30-minute block than you could do in 2.5 hours of distracted time. And the work is better. Your IQ's actually higher. This is measurable stuff. But it's harder than ever to do these days because we're so distracted by stuff all the time. That's what you're talking about. So it's strategies for that, and it also convinces you the true value of it in deep work. It's really fascinating to read because he'll blend, behavioral economics and psychology and statistical evidence and stuff to really get you to think, man, this is a real serious thing. I got to change my life up. You ever been like doing any kind of activity, like your favorite thing? I don't care if it's model trains in your basement or you're a musician playing a piano, writing a song, right? And you get like lost in the activity, and it's really, really pleasurable. And your sense of even space and time kind of just goes away for a little bit. You're like really immersed in this pleasurable activity. Your productivity is off the charts, and then it's almost like you get interrupted and you come back to reality. You can do that with work, and it's really valuable and worth being intentional about. So, deep work, Cal Newport.
Wow.
Yeah. My question is, advice for that from a director of IT.
Yeah.
I've tried to be more intentional about getting myself into that space, disabling some notifications on my phone, not succumbing to wanting to look at my texts or emails while I'm in the middle of this task. Something that you spend any time thinking about, because you've got to have more of that stuff right in front of your face than anybody in your profession, right?
Yes.
How do you even you can't turn it off. It's what you're doing. How do you deal with that?
Well, I think I deal with it probably in the worst manner. I just let all my notifications fly, which is horrible. You shouldn't do that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I've been so accustomed to that that's kind of my habit. But what I've done, like in a project management or say something where I need to really have that deep work type of thing, I'll time box a dedicated duration on my calendar,
Right.
just to do certain tasks. And I'll turn off my phone or I'll put it on do not disturb, and then try to stay focused there. There's no doubt that notifications do disrupt, your concentration 100%. It happens to me all the time. I'll be doing a project and then I'll be, I have a support ticket, or, I have to pay this bill, or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try to multitask, which is really just not a good idea. We all do it, but your attention span's just not that good. I think in this book, he'll tell you, it's been proven. I don't care if you're Albert Einstein or Mozart. If you want to get into that deep work mode, a human brain, even the best one out there, is only capable of doing about 4 hours of that per day before you got to go to sleep and recharge this battery up here. Like, it's just a fact. And you should probably do it in smaller bursts of that half-hour type stuff like you're talking about, because you only have so much attention throughout the day, and then it's just gone, and that's why you got to sleep. You got to recharge it, man. And so even stuff like texting and driving, why is that such a bad idea? It lowers your IQ to the point of like marijuana use and alcohol and stuff. It's because your attention is distracted. That's why you're so bad texting and driving. Really, it isn't just that you're not have your eyes on the road. It's the same logic of like how a phone call actually distracts your attention too. The brain's just not that good at doing two things at once, no matter how much we think it is. And the more that you can really channel it on one thing, it's like a superhuman power almost. I'm fascinated by stuff like that.
Yeah. Same. Actually, that's something that I'm really trying to improve in my life, is be more intentional in my task completion, and not do 2 things at once, 3 things at once. It has been a concern over the years, hey, how come I can't I can't get these things done at the same time? And that's the reason why. It's because our brains aren't wired that way.
Yeah. Even doing a motor skill like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
And you can think about something else, even something that simple. Your brain technically is actually still just going back and forth real fast between the 2 things. it still lowers your ability to think about that thing a little bit, even something that simple.
Interesting. Yeah. I feel like I do a lot of thinking when I brush my teeth. Yeah.
Some say it's our best thinking, but it must not be.
How much does the notification on your text message bother you? Is it always at 0 for you, or do you let that thing build up?
No, I at this moment,
Yeah.
if somebody looked at my phone, there would be just like, if somebody looked at my phone and they had anxiety,
Yeah.
they would just be straight anxious.
It'd be a problem.
I mean, I have like 6-digit emails.
6 digits.
Yeah. 6 digit.
Ooh.
I have multiple email accounts on my email, client or whatever. And yeah, I mean, I get a lot of notifications, whether that's somebody's walking in front of my house or somebody left a package or
The world is ending.
Yeah, the
They're
world
all
is ending.
going into
It's
that
all
same.
the same thing. Critical and low, all the
Yeah,
same.
that's serious. As long as you have a system for it, there could be a zillion. I mean, you just got to have it organized.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to miss stuff. But man, I got a little anxiety hearing that.
Yeah, Jeff is a 0 notification guy. He gets that thing down to 0 all the time.
How many emails do you think are in my inbox right now?
Oh, maybe 3. Whatever you've got since you've been here.
Probably got one for me.
1, 2, 3, 4,
4.
8. 8.
8. Wow.
8 in my inbox.
See, that's inspiring to me. Like that when you read something, you're done with it. And since there's no action item, you just get rid of it. I want to do that.
Yeah, I use my inbox as a follow-up list. So if there's nothing I need to do with it, it gets deleted or archived into a folder that I could refer to later. So there's 4 that are in there that are unread. I have to do something with these things. One's check in for a flight. One is something Matt wants me to review. One is an email I want to respond to because it was really nice. And then one of them is about the markets we're going to go into in the next quarter. I need to look at it. Then I've got 4 new ones. But as soon as I could get those all dealt with and it's empty inbox, it's like, yeah, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
I'm clean slate. But again, that's what works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could just as easily have it a hierarchy of importance and stuff. What do you do with your inbox?
It's there forever. Yeah, I don't move anything. I work off the top of the list, and I will go back as deep as I need to. But yeah, the notifications don't bother me.
Here's the one that gets most people. That's reasonable, right? I do that with my text messages too.
He deletes every text message.
That
It's
gives
insane.
people anxiety every time I tell them I have
Yeah.
no text on here. I just delete everything.
And
That's also a follow-up list. If it doesn't need to be
That's-
dealt with, it's deleted.
That's awesome.
So right now I have 1 text from my mother-in-law, Jan Kirk, who has given me a video of my daughter riding a horse.
Ah,
So what are you going to do with the video? Are you going to say?
I'm going to watch it and delete it.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
New horse named Raven
Oh,
at
Raven.
the old farm out there where she rides horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jan. Thanks, Mom. I call her Mom. Do you guys think it's weird to call your mother-in-law Mom? I do. It is probably unusual, isn't it? We get nods. Yeah.
I think it's.
Austin's on my side.
I think it's a very honorable thing to do. Very respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what my dad told me to call my father-in-law's Papa.
Yeah.
No.
I think I got that from my mom, actually. I heard my mom, hi, Mom, call my dad's mom that lived right down the street. She always just referred to her as Mom. So I grew up with that being very natural to call your mother-in-law Mom. I hope that Jan, Mom, if you ever see this, you don't think that's weird.
Yeah. If you do, just call in. We'll talk about it on the air. Don't make it a private phone call. We'll bring it on air. Hey,
Anyways, what's this doing?
So
Yeah. Well.
can I ask about the whole text message response thing?
Yeah.
So, sorry,
No,
I'm asking you guys questions.
Yeah,
here.
no, we appreciate it.
Okay, one thing I struggle with is the amount of time I take to respond to a text, because I feel like I have an obligation to focus on the question that has been sent to me, and so if I don't have that at the moment. I'll go back to it, but then there's like 30 that have come through. How do you guys deal with that? Am I just slow?
Are we talking professionally or in all things?
Both.
Okay, give us an example of a non-professional question that you're getting that you're going to have to come back to.
So, okay. Hey, man, I don't know what you're doing this Saturday, but it would be really great if you could come and have dinner, bring the kids over. We're going to do some things. But there's a conflict.
Oh.
But you want to reason out the conflict.
This is a great question. I have strong opinions.
Oh, Jeff.
Is it a, sorry.
Go.
If I send that text to you, I think that I would expect a response from you or anybody else, a friend, in general, like 4 hours or so. Now, if it's a whole day and I don't hear from you, I just assume you got something going on or you're whatever. That's fine. However, if that's how you do it all the time, now that's just who you are. And I don't really like that. That's too long. It can't always be a whole day till I hear something back from you. The end.
Wow.
That's me.
Yeah.
How long do you think to respond? But a work thing's not much different, really.
Sure. Yeah.
I just think that's a realistic time. You should look at your phone maybe once every 4 hours or so.
Yeah.
At that point, if you don't, you're just blowing me off. Even if you don't know the answer yet, I'd be like, I got to talk to Sarah and I'll let you know. Like something to let you know that I received it.
Yeah, that's where I'll generally respond with, because I don't know our schedule super well. So if it's a social event, I will lean on Danielle for that and be like, do we have anything with the kids that day? Because I hate to commit to something and us not be able to, especially if you're making plans for it. So I'll usually hit back and be like, hey, I got to make sure. I'd love to do it, but let me make sure that we're good with that.
Yeah.
And then I try to get that answer as quickly as possible. I don't generally leave. I thought maybe where you were going with this, I don't usually leave a question unanswered, but if I'm in a conversation, I definitely don't have to have the last response. I am cool if we have a conversation and then they're like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm cool just leaving it at blah, blah, blah. I don't need to come back and add my blah, blah, blah as well. I'm good with that conversation. I think if I went through all my text messages, most of the time, I'm not the last one that responded. People need that. I don't. So I just move on with life. I think we're good here.
Yeah.
I think also, so for example, I've turned off the little red banner on the text app, like the way it looks on the home screen.
That has to, by the way, be less than 1% of all iPhone users have to have that disabled. I'm shocked you can even turn it off.
I will look right in the camera and say this. If you will do that, your ability to have deep work, not be as distracted. That could be at the dinner table with your family or while you're trying to work on a report at the office, whatever. Man, you disable that little red thing, you can do it. That's too tempting. You see that you have two unread things and you just got to look at it. You take that off and now all of a sudden I can come back to it in 30 minutes pretty easy and see that I got two texts. Now you tell me what on earth couldn't wait 30 minutes. If somebody needs me that fast, you better call. That's fair enough, right? And so, where was I going with this? Hold on a minute, I'll get there. Attention management. Oh, it was that in your role as an IT director, I don't think that people expect you to get back to them that fast. If it's ADP who does our payroll and HR solutions and stuff, and I send an email in, it's a work ticket, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a maniac. I don't demand they answer my question in 2.5 hours or 4. The more important part is that I just know that it's been received and they communicate that back. We have it. We're going to get back to you by end of business today. It could be 7 hours later. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes if I need it to be faster, I need to put in there urgent. We have a noon payroll coming up. I need this right now. That's an emergency. But generally, I think as long as you just communicate back, hey, I'm going to get back to you, people are pretty cool about it.
Especially with COVID. Just blame COVID.
Well,
yeah,
sure.
Maybe I should try that too.
Yeah, I would hit them back.
COVID,
I have COVID
You
right
can't
now.
do that
Let me
anymore.
respond in 2
Can't
weeks.
use COVID anymore?
No.
Well, I've used it twice today. One for a parking spot.
Nobody's even testing for COVID anymore.
That's
Not much. I just read an article the other day about how it was one of the pharmacy chains that had big losses in a quarter because one of the things compared to the previous quarter was they weren't selling any COVID tests.
Yeah. Not much of a
So
market.
it's not just Jeff's opinion.
No.
That's
This
news.
Yeah, Wall Street's reporting this. Hey, as a DJ, are you also gifted with an ability to sing?
I can sing.
Real? Oh,
Yes. But I'm not going to say I can karaoke.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
We played music in my office today. Did you know that? I was playing the piano and he was on the guitar. We just
No.
jammed
We
for
just
a minute.
started, like, he started singing, and I was just like, can I grab that guitar? This is pretty
Joined
awesome.
right in and started picking. It was awesome.
Why didn't you call me? I could have contributed
I'm sorry. I will
to
next time.
stuff. I do things like that all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you sing? Yes. Good voice.
Yes.
Got it. Right.
Okay. Do you think that you have your phone with you?
I do.
Okay. Why don't you pull your phone out?
Okay.
Here's a challenge.
All right. Phone coming out.
If you had to FaceTime right now a person in your phone who you believe is a good singer, do you think you could convince them for $100 gift card to be mailed to them to sing 15 seconds of their favorite song on FaceTime?
Absolutely.
Who would you call?
So, one of my musical soulmates lives in Barbersville.
Okay.
And that is Tracy Ferguson.
Tracy Ferguson. Do you know Tracy?
I don't. Is that a male or female? Tracy.
It's a female. Yeah.
Female
Female Tracy.
Yeah.
And you have her in your phone
I do.
without prompting. Do you think you could? Do you ever FaceTime people? Because I know.
No.
Yeah. Let's just see. Well, if you hit her up with FaceTime and see, tell her that you're on the podcast and that we have a challenge for $100 gift card. We'll mail it to her today. Would she sing 15 seconds of her favorite song for us?
You know what? That's a good challenge. I'm going to do that right now.
Good luck getting her to answer FaceTime.
She's going
Challenge.
to immediately think it's a butt dial.
Right.
on
You're
the
going to have to
FaceTime.
call twice. Let's go ahead and get that out of the-
FaceTime with Tracy Stanley. I think she's Stanley on there.
She get married or something?
She got married. Yeah. I just haven't changed it for forever.
I have many maiden names still on my phone.
Yeah. Just making sure he didn't have amnesia. There's no way she answers a FaceTime.
I think there is.
No way. Nobody answers FaceTime ever.
Try to get in the camera. Gosh. She may not.
I wouldn't.
Oh, hold on a second. I think we got. This is great. What are you doing?
Driving. What are you doing?
I am on a podcast right now,
Okay.
and we have a challenge.
A challenge?
We have a challenge, and the first person I thought of was you.
Okay.
Okay. So the challenge is, will you sing for 15 seconds, just on the spot, on this podcast, for is it $100?
Yeah, $100
for a
gift card.
$100 gift card.
Yeah.
This is going to work.
Yeah.
Let her see us.
All right.
So she
Hi,
knows we're not
Tracy.
crazy. Hey, Tracy. Hi.
How's it going?
Hey, this is Aaron. This
Yeah.
is Jeff.
Hey.
Hey, Jeff. What's up?
We never dreamed anyone would answer or agree to do this, so you're absolutely killing it already.
Sweet. I'm already a winner.
Yeah. I didn't think you were going to answer the FaceTime call, so you're already won. What song are you going to sing?
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know. What were we just listening to? Does it matter?
Pick
No.
a popular song everybody knows. That way we can tell if it's very good or not.
Okay. A popular song that everybody
That
knows.
adds another
I
layer of
listen to the radio.
challenge
Yeah.
and judgment to it.
Taylor Swift. She's popular. What songs do we know? My kid's in the back going.
They can join too if they want.
Okay, yeah, I'll sing a Taylor Swift song. Let's think about one.
From the new album or from?
Oh.
No, I only know her old songs.
Oh, okay. And that's okay.
Name one. What is an old Taylor Swift song?
I'm on it. Stand by.
I know a few, but
Let's see. There's
they may not be.
Mama,
You
Driving
Belong
Away,
with Me.
Driving.
There's
Oh, I know You Belong with Me. That's old.
that is old. That's like one of the
That's
first.
You're on the phone with your girlfriend one.
Yeah.
You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. For 15 seconds?
Oh, yeah. We'll tell you when to stop.
Okay. That's a trap. Okay. Let's do it.
Here we go.
So I think it goes, you're on the phone with your girlfriend. She's upset. She's going off about something that you said. 'Cause she doesn't get your humor like I do. I'm in my room. It's a typical Tuesday night. I'm listening to the kind of music she doesn't like. And she'll never know your story like I do. 'Cause she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers, dreaming about the day when you'll wake up and find that what you're looking for has been here the whole time. That's gotta be 50.
That
yeah,
is
that's
amazing.
All right. Amazing.
Good Lord, are you a performing artist?
Yeah, Chris totally cheated.
Oh my God! Boy, that's bravo.
Yeah, thank you so much. We promise.
I haven't been a performing artist for a very long time,
Yeah.
so that was fun. But no,
Wow.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, hey, thank you. We will make sure that text Chris whatever address you want this mailed to, okay?
Rock and roll. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool, thank you.
Awesome, Trey. We'll see ya.
Bye.
All
Bye.
right, later. Bye.
That was phenomenally
We
good.
could do this 100 times and they wouldn't answer, they wouldn't agree to it, or they wouldn't be that good.
Dude, that's a good idea.
I can't believe that worked.
Hey, that was great. You want me to call some other people?
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot with a question.
Okay,
Oh,
all
okay.
right, okay.
Is this a Dear Abby?
Well, it's similar.
You're not going to believe this.
What's that?
Well, so when Chris started at the company, he saw my microphones in my office from where we used to do the podcast there, and he had this idea that he and I could do a podcast together where we just answer call-in questions like Dear Abby.
You have one with him too.
Yes.
I feel
told
less
you,
special every
Philip
week.
and I have one, Whitney and I have one. I have several. But yeah,
And I've had to cough a lot. Did you ever get that cough button?
you need to test for COVID.
Nobody does that anymore. You ready? Okay, ready?
Here we go.
I love this question. This is okay. I'm not going to say anything. This is somebody writes in about their coworker, right? Our team has shared spoiler-free Wordle screenshots in a Slack channel for the last few months, and my boss has been right on the first word 3 times. There's no way he's that good, right? Should I be concerned about what this might portend for my professional future? Signed, Anonymous.
Okay, just so I have a full grasp of this, they're in a Slack channel in their department. They have a supervisor. It's in the group. They screenshot the Wordle challenge of the day,
Spoiler free. You
Yeah.
can't see it. They're just probably spitting their results or something.
and the boss 3 times have guessed it on the first time. And her concern is that he is Googling the answer and throwing it out there.
Clearly. Let me give some context. If you don't play Wordle, it's a 5-letter word. There's about 1 billion of them in the freaking English language. You're not going to guess it on the first one unless you cheated and looked it up or somebody told you.
And this guy has done it 3 times.
100%.
He got it right 3 times.
And what the writer's concerned about is not only is this guy...
Should I be concerned
Yeah.
about what this might portend for my professional future with this boss being this person that would do that?
Go ahead first.
I just think of like horrible bosses. I think of that guy that was like the CEO and the VP and just wants to win everything. Well, a little red flag there, I think. Yeah.
I see it as an opportunity. This
Okay.
person clearly is willing to make some deals to look well. So I'm thinking, how now that I know they have compromised morals, is this to my advantage?
What would you do?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to wait. You'd be like, look, Larry, clearly you're the smartest guy in the room. Of the millions of players every day, nearly no one gets this right. You've done it 3 times. You're the smartest person I know. And then you just use that to your advantage, knowing that they would go as far as Googling the answer, but they're not aware enough to know that everyone in the group's like, there is no physical way. If he'd done it once, people would be like, man, this guy.
Maybe you hit a bolt of lightning.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
guy's luck's
who
on
knows?
his side.
3. Stop. I like how she even has to, or he even has to ask. There's no way he's that good, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe there's a chance of it. Stop.
Is there anything this guy could do to prove to you that this was just luck? Or is it that improbable?
I don't know how he could at this point.
Okay. Well, if he did it a 4th time, how far could he take it?
Yeah. If he could show me somehow that he could do it again,
Yeah.
I'd begin to believe in his energy psychic powers.
Does something like that, something as simple as just a Wordle cheat, does that tell you about the character of that person?
Now we're getting to the heart of the question.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
If I told you, you come to work at Village Caregiving, and I'm trying to tell you that I get the Wordle right on the first try 3 times, and I'm not laughing, joking, I'm telling you I'm that good at Wordle, what are you going to think?
This guy likes to have that superhuman power. They likes being in that position. Probably this like they've probably had a inferiority complex in the past, and they're compensating.
Does it tell you about their character though? Does it change?
Maybe not their full character, but just like you said, willing to win, at the cost of some moral
Yeah.
things. Yes.
God, I would feel sorry for him. I would. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're doing that, like life just hasn't. Someone who hurt you? Who hurt you? What happened?
You're right. You listen to the answer. Now this is even as
I always
fast.
forget that they do answer. the
This is
question.
as fascinating to me as the question, because this is one finally. Sometimes you kind of agree or kind of disagree. I categorically disagree with this response. The very last part. So most of it makes sense. Your boss is pretending he is a Wordle wonderkind, reflects his need to impress his team. Mm-hmm. That's what you said. It's weird and a little sad. That's what you said. Maybe he really is psychic and has repeatedly guessed the Wordle word on the first try. It is far more likely that he wants to make it seem like he is the best Wordle player of all time to fill an aching void that can be sated only by small, inconsequential victories. Regardless, this is the part I don't like.
Yeah.
Regardless, this has no bearing on your professional future. Now, yes, it does, because you're working for a completely insane psycho, okay? Number one, they've lied to you, which I just don't like on its face in principle, so I'm never going to trust this person again. Number two, I'm going to think you are clinically insane that you would even think that this could be okay behavior. Number three, you've insulted my intelligence because you think I might be dumb enough that I even believe this to start with. I would immediately begin trying to work for someone else and leave this place.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I guess what I did also. I played golf yesterday, got 4 holes in 1.
Really?
It's just kind of how I do it.
Yeah.
Not a big deal to me. I built this table right before we started. What else would you believe? There's nothing he could tell me again I could take for face value that is true.
It's so strange.
I'm getting worked up about this.
Now, okay? It is so strange the things that he gets this way about and the things that he doesn't. And almost 5 years in, I can still not predict which way he's going to go on these things.
Well, he's right. Because I think it's little things that sometimes are a real true indicator of way more. Like, I could think it's really, really, like if something is so bizarrely weird, we talked about this one time before. Driving 95 miles an hour down the road is a kind of weird thing. But, what's the number of people that speed? A lot. The number of people that do that, yeah, that's 1 in a million people, man. Like, you got to keep your eye on this fella. It's indicative of something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, not wanting to play within the rules of the game. I could see that. You got a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really weird. Somebody that would like rather have their eggs served to him cold than hot. You keep an eye on that guy. Keep a close eye on him because who knows what else they're up to.
That's just a peek inside, huh? Is all that is. Well,
I'll give you another one.
okay.
Let's say that you get a guy. He wants to get a pet. Gets maybe a dog
Yeah.
and names it Barbara. Yeah, that's going to be a hard man to stop because there's no telling what else he might do.
Because he named his dog Barbara.
It's an unusual name.
It is.
You wouldn't think he'd be like, oh, it's fine. He just now would be like, no, that's nobody does that.
Yeah.
That's a hard person to stop right there.
You're going to be watching that fella.
They're probably capable of doing anything. Greatness, wickedness, I don't know what, but it's abnormal.
I mean, what
Or
if
if they said, I'm going to get a fish, and well, that's just straight up weird. That's obviously like a fish and carry it around my pocket like a buddy. That's obviously weird. I'm trying to think of things that seem pretty normal, but are actually, when you think about it, statistically very abnormal.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, if I had a dog that was like really fluffy and big and I wanted to call it Barb, I mean, that would just be funny, I think.
That wasn't the best example. In fact, that we have fish in the house named Spike and Lamont.
Oh, well.
Those are human names for animals. That wasn't the best example, but you get my point.
Yeah.
You get my point.
Very unique identifiers. Well, I do agree. I think there is more to that situation than what the paper was. We would never give that advice on our podcast. We would say you need to be on Indeed, right? Most Ricky tick, as Jeff Heflin would say.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how you could say, honestly, that it has no bearing on your future. I think it's got a little bearing, at least.
what do you think the furthest you've went into a cheating situation in like a game or whatever, where you're like, all right, this probably isn't even believable anymore?
That's an eat the whole watermelon type of question. You're asking me to really be serious. First off, I don't like to cheat at any kind of a game because it actually makes the game less fun. I was that way ever since a kid. If I'm going to cheat to win, it's not even a challenge. It's not even fun. Like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Play Guess Who. Dad goes to the bathroom and I take a peek over there at his guy. That's not fun anymore.
Right.
But I've probably wanted to look smart and impress people and look cool before too. So have I ventured down that road?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can honestly say I've got a pretty freaking tight ethical code. Me and Adam Canterbury and David Job would be in a group where we would play like 5 different games, like Wordle, Worldle, Movie-dle, Framed.
Dole.
And there was something where you had to guess the song. What was that one called?
Song dole.
You know what I'm talking about? It was that one, but what was it called?
Shazamle.
Hurdle.
Shazamle.
And then you'd have to share your results and see how it got cumulatively. Could we get it like in this super low score? You could be tempted to make yourself look a little smarter there. I never did that. I got a code.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to pretend I'm such a knight, though, that maybe I didn't. I just don't remember doing it.
Well, we have a caller on the line right now that I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Jeff's junior year of high school, he cheated on a game. You're
You
like,
ever cheat at board games or games like that?
I have never cared enough to cheat. Like, I'm not, and that's why Ben gives me a hard time when I say I'm not competitive. There are clearly things I want to be competitive about, but like games, I just have never cared enough. I'm just like, yeah.
Okay, here's a confession I'm going to make. Have you cheated at games?
No, but I've had situations where I knew the answer, but I felt like I was cheating because I was like, it's like a tennis question, you know, and like I play tennis, and so yeah, but it's like it'd be like who won, I don't know who won the U.S. Open in the '90s the most, and it'd be like Pete Sampras, you know, something like that, but.
Would you look up the answer to look smart?
No. And but sometimes if you know that tribal knowledge, sometimes you feel like you're cheating because you're like, I shouldn't answer this question because.
No.
But then at the same time, it's like, Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my confession. You know how I know everybody's birthday, right?
Yes.
Now, there have been times that I don't know the person's birthday, and I look it up real quick.
We'll have to cut that out. That can't go to air.
Why?
Well, because that takes the magic away. That would be like, if there's kids listening, that'd be like Mickey.
I've never done it at
Good
the
off.
annual meeting where you put me on the spot.
Oh, you
Those
can't.
are all legit. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, if somebody comes into the office, they're normally newer, and I just don't know it. It's rude because I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Sure.
They've heard this ridiculous story, and so I'm like, oh, man, I don't want them to be like the first person I don't know. But I've cheated on that before. I've looked it up.
Do you know his birthday trick? Have you seen? I mean, it's not even a trick. His thing. It's his naming the dog Barbara. Basically, he remembers everyone's birthday at the company, and we do this experiment at the annual meeting where we pick random people out of the audience, and he can tell them their birthday on the spot. We were a couple months ago. We're in Fayetteville, West Virginia, and the lady at the
Wood Iron Grill.
Wood Iron Grill. I couldn't think of the name.
Called grill?
Wood Iron.
Yeah.
A restaurant for breakfast. It was her birthday, and Jeff asked her, could I guess your age and stuff? Horrible idea.
I have a lot of bad ideas where they tell me that I need to learn social cues.
Yeah.
Don't guess strangers' ages. But
Right.
we're bored in line, turn it
Yeah.
into a carnival. Why
So he
not?
does it, right? And you think that's probably where the story ends. What else could happen here? She wasn't offended. She was a good sport about it. Except we were back to that same restaurant the other day. And would you like to tell them what you did?
Well, it was the same lady. See, what I said is I guessed 26. And she said,
Yeah.
actually, I turned 27 today. Today's my birthday, February 18th. I said, no, well, I was right yesterday. I said 26. I mean, a few hours ago, I nailed it.
Yeah.
Always looking for a way to still win, even when I'm wrong, you know.
Go on.
Either way, I just remembered that. So I saw her and I just said something like, hey, remember us a few months ago? Well, I don't want to look like too much of a creep or nothing like that. She, of course, doesn't know that I'm a numbers guy. And I was just like, she's like, yeah. I was like, I remember I was trying to guess your age. I know your birthday, February 18th. And she was like, then I think she probably thought she needed to
Call 911.
get a temporary restraining order. I was like, nah, that's not weird. I just can remember a birthday better than probably a name sometimes.
Didn't like Sarah step and be like, it's his thing. He's good with numbers.
She bailed me out. Thanks, hon.
Yeah. So, I mean, just think about like if, you were at Cheddar's and you just told the waitress that from 3 months ago you remembered her birthday.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
All right, that's all I got.
I thought it went
That's,
well.
I mean, that's a good trick. I mean,
It is.
a good talent to have.
It's a neat thing.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming down. We want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to everyone in the company that will see the podcast, learn a little bit more about you. We really tried to use this as a virtual newsletter, as a way to introduce folks to the organization, and for the organization to get to know you a little bit better. So we understand it's always out of people's comfort zone to do this, but it's why we do it. So we appreciate you being a good sport and coming down.
Hey, thanks for having me. This was a pleasure. I love doing this. So
Awesome.
ask me
Thanks,
again.
man.
Well, cool. Yeah. And thanks, Tracy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tracy,
Tracy.
yeah.
She's a rock
Tracy
star.
became the freaking star.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
this,
gotta get Tracy
good
on here.
grief. She needs to take my spot on here.
You guys need to sing together.
We can make that work. Well, cool. Well, we always end these with a toast. If you
Oh,
want to grab your cup there. Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank
Cheers.
you.